Danielle with Full of Sheep here. I have been trying to upload 2 more videos for you guys, the part 3 and 4 of choosing suitable ewes, but I don't know if it's my phone or if it's Facebook or whatever, but it is getting stuck on the the copyright thing, the copyright scan. It just sits there forever. And I've tried to clear the cache and the data on Facebook app. It won't let me clear the data. I can clear the cache. It doesn't do anything. It's still stuck. Chris fixed this phone. It was freaking out before, so he did a factory restart on it. And I'm going to try to use it tonight to read from Paula Simmons' book, Raising Sheep the Modern Way. We're going to talk about some rams today. Talked about the ewes and stuff. We're going to talk about the boys because they're important. So, this is chapter 5, the ram. The old saying that the ram is half the flock is still the best rule of thumb for selection of a flock sire. Even though scientists have discovered that certain inheritable gene traits are not transmitted equally between the sire and the ewe, the choice of sire will most rapidly change the character of your flock, good or bad. So inspect him well before buying. The following points should be kept in mind when looking at a ram for possible purchase. This is important, you guys. Don't just pick him, oh, he's so cute, or he's cheap. If he's cheap, he may not be good. Look at him. Look at what you're buying. Good size, deep, wide body, heavy, muscular neck. You want him to look like a boy. Well-developed sex organs, scrotal circumference of 12 inches or more for a 150-pound yearling. Now, of course, they're going to be looking more at meat sheep. It's a Suffolk ewe on the cover, so it's going to be a little biased. So, if you're looking at meat animals, 12 inches around his ball sack. That's what you want. No scrotal mange, no hernia. Turn the ram up to inspect, cause you don't want to give your girls scrotal mange. Lift him up, or have somebody lift him up so you can inspect that undercarriage. Look at him. Don't be embarrassed. It's balls and a wiener. It's fine. You're probably not even gonna see the wiener because it's tucked up inside. You're just gonna look at the this little pizzle. It'll be fine. Don't be embarrassed. It's farm animals. You're probably gonna have to reach inside a ewe or something one day if you're just starting out. Horrifying, I know it. But if you're not gonna do it, you probably shouldn't be buying animals to breed. Don't depend on the vet. The vet probably won't be there half the time anyhow. Insist on a negative ELISA test for a ram epididymitis. Epididymitis. Lord. Some of these medical disease terms. EPIDIDYMITIS. Epididymitis. I think I'm adding another D in saying that. I don't know. Good feet. Bad feet can render a ram useless. If he can't stand up, he's not going to breed your ewes, guys. Good eyes. Watch for pink eye or any sign of eye damage. Pink eye is transmissible. You don't want that stuff. Conjunctivitis, any of all that stuff. if they're letting that ram run around with a goopy eye and they're offering him, you probably might want to walk away, because they're offering you something that's sick. Then you might probably want to take your shoes and burn them and then go in and take a shower before you go out onto your property. Oof, gross. Good teeth, well aligned with the upper jaw. You want the bottom teeth to align with that upper dental pad. You don't want them tucked back. You don't want them bucking out. You want them to be able to crop the grass. And then the molars in the back, you want them to grind up the grass that he just bit off. He can't feed himself efficiently. He's probably going to be in bad weight too. Head not too large to avoid hereditary problems in lambing. You don't want your girls to be giving birth to big-headed lambs. Full hindquarters so his lambs will be good meat animals. Good fleece of a type to suit your wool market. And don't say you don't have a wool market, because everybody's on this online thing that's been invented now. So there are hand spinner groups out there. There are raw fleece groups out there. Find them. Get sheep with good fleece. Stuff that you want to touch, not hair. You can market your stuff. You just got to do a little bit of reading. You guys are on this Facebook a lot. You can take 5-10 minutes to look on how to market a fleece. Look at what people are looking for. One of twins or triplets to influence prolificacy of his daughters. Notice the general health of the rest of the flock. Again, if they're offering you a ram with pink eye, what's the rest of them got? And also, lack of external parasites. Their presence signifies negligence. And it does, because if you part that wool to see down to the skin and you see mites running around, you see lice running around, you can see lice. Look for a minute and see if something's crawling away. That's not supposed to happen. Scurf, you don't want scurf either. That's kind of like a dandruff with the lanolin and stuff. It's really hard to get out of a fleece. Ugh, it's gross. But yeah, external parasites are gross. You're going to shear that off and try to market to somebody, and they're going to open their box up and be excited and get a box of lice. Ew. Ooh. Ooh. Because again, if they're offering you that pink eye ram and being like, here you go, this is what I'm offering you for sale. He's cute though, right? He's probably got bugs. Probably got worms too. Whatever else they're not telling you. Ugh, gross. Okay. Ordinarily, the best investment is a well-grown 2-year-old, a twin or a triplet. Being a twin will in no way affect the twinning of the lambs or the ewes he breeds. So, whatever ewes he's breeding, that's up to her how many eggs she drops. He has no influence on that at all. This is controlled by the number of eggs the ewes drop to be fertilized, which is influenced by genetics and encouraged by flushing. Talk about that later. However, the lambs they have will inherit both the ewe and the ram's twinning capabilities, and this will show up in the following generations. The ram greatly influences conformation and fleece type, and also udder type. If he has a good a mother with a good udder, or he could wreck everything. If you don't look at his daughters or his mother, even better, his mother, but his daughters as well, you're not going to know what kind of udder he puts on there. If he is a lamb, use him sparingly for breeding. One way to conserve his energy is to separate him from the ewes for several hours a day, at which time he can be fed and watered and allowed to rest. One good ram can handle 25 to 30 ewes. On a small flock where the ram gets good feed, you can expect about 6 years of use from him. On open range, there may be overuse with more ewes per ram, fighting with other rams, and little supplemental feed. Rams get run down during the breeding season from eating so little and chasing females. Then they succumb to diseases because of their low resistance. If you're buying a new ram, do this long enough before breeding season so he can become acclimatized to his new home. Keep him separate on good feed and pasture until breeding time, but if you are going to feed him a different ration from that he had previous, be sure to change it over gradually. Use good judgment in feeding. Excess weight results in lowering of potency and efficiency, so keep him in good condition, but not fat. It's bad. During the breeding season, feed the ram about 1 pound of grain per day, so that if he is too intent on the ewes to graze properly, he still will be well nourished. After separating him from the bred ewes, a maintenance ration of 1/2 pound of grain per day plus hay as necessary during the winter should carry him through until good pasture is available again. Provide a cool, shady spot for him in the heat of summer. An elevated body temperature, whether from heat or even an infection, can cause infertility. Semen quality is affected at 80 degrees and seriously damaged at 90 degrees air temperature. Several hours at that temperature may leave him infertile for weeks and can cancel your plans for early lambing. If your climate is very hot in the summer, shear his scrotum just before the hot weather and run him with the ewes in the evening and at night, and then in the early morning. But keep him penned in a cool place during the heat of the afternoon with fresh water. High humidity and temperature can also decrease his sexual urge and interest. Instinct. Urge and interest, it's kind of the same thing. August is generally the beginning of breeding season for early lambing. You can wait until later to turn the ram in with the ewes if you want to start lambing later in the spring. Gestation is about 5 months, 48 to 52 days, but I think with these guys, I have to add a few days because I want to say it's 156. There is a computer program available to set up your whole year's plans, including vaccinations, around your desired time of lambing. Ewes are in heat for about 28 hours with about 16 to 17 days between cycles. So 51 to 60 days with the ram should mate all the ewes, even the yearlings that will come into heat later. A sense of smell greatly determines a ram's awareness of estrus in the ewes. A study of sex drive in rams done at the University College Aberystwyth, I don't know. It's in Wales. It starts with an A. It's a university. If you're really curious, go look up the university in Wales. Found that some breeds of rams have keener olfactory development than others and are able to detect early estrus in ewes that go unnoticed by other breeds. Those with the best noses for it were singled out as the Kerry Hill, the Hampshire, and the Suffolk rams in that order. The effect of rams on ewes. The presence of the ram, especially the smell of the ram, has had great effect on estrous activity of the ewes. This stimulus is not as pronounced when the ram is constantly with the ewes as it is when he is placed in an adjoining pasture about 2 weeks ahead of time. Owners of the large flocks often use a vasectomized ram turned in with the ewes about 3 weeks prior to the scheduled breeding in order to stimulate the onset of estrus in the flock. There is actually a wide range of sexual performance among rams. Anyone who has had more than one ram at a time will be conscious of these social differences. One ram must always assert dominance. Anytime rams are separated for a period, there is the inevitable fighting and headbutting until the boss is decided. It has been documented that the mating success of dominant rams does far exceed that of subordinate ones. This in itself can cause problems, since aggressive potential and ram fertility are not necessarily related. If the dominant ram is infertile for any reason, then flock conception rates can suffer. All right, so then they're talking about harness marking or the marking harness. There's painted brisket. So basically, I'm just going to kind of sum them up because I've used marking harnesses extensively. And what it is, it's just a harness that goes over. It holds a crayon on their brisket right here. And when they mount the ewe, they rub the crayon color on the rump of the ewe. So you want to do that, and then the, what did they say? The 16 days later, you want to go in and change the color of the crayon. You also need to make sure during that time that it's not getting clogged up with dirt, with rocks, with grass. His wool isn't clogged, like clumped over it. The point of changing the crayon color after that 16 days is to see if any of your ewes have been rebred, or to see if they've, well, you're gonna notice if they haven't gotten marked at all, but maybe marked again if there was maybe a I don't know, maybe he just bumped up against them and then you're not sure. I usually always mark all those bred dates, and I mark all the due dates accordingly. So if a ewe can have multiple due dates, she's not going to lamb all those due dates, obviously, but there's something to watch for. And if I know that the first one comes and goes, that's probably going to be the second one. I had a ewe that had three marks on her, because one was really faint and I wasn't sure, but the crayon was clogged. So I wrote it down after I cleared that crayon off. Wrote down that little faint mark. And then she had a little bit more. And then I changed the color. And then later on she had that other color on. Write them down. That way you know your due dates. So you're not wondering out all these vulva pictures of all these ewes. Is she ready? Do you think she's gonna lamb soon? What do you guys think? You don't need the internet's telling you what to do with that. You need a marking harness and a couple of crayons. I don't care what color you pick. Put the lighter color on first, then put the darker color on. It could be your two favorite colors. I don't care. It doesn't matter. They don't come in like an entire rainbow, but you've got some choices. So pick two colors, put the harness on your ram, turn them out with the girls, go out there every day, write down bred dates, figure out your due dates. So much less hassle. Let me know. So the painted brisket is just another way of marking breed dates, except it's a lot messier, I think. Because basically you have to put a glove on. You get a pot of paint color, and then you just smather it all over his brisket. He's gonna get the shit everywhere. So then you basically go out, he breeds the ewes and marks their rump with the paint. You mark those down. A couple weeks, you change the color of that paint. Try to get it off as much as you can. You might have to just mix it in to make it like a whole third color. Mix it together, whatever color. Send them back out. See if anybody's rebred or just bred for the first time. It's really messy. That's why I usually use the crayon. The crayon will get kind of all over, but not like the paint stuff. Then it goes on to raising your own ram. If you're raising market lambs for meat, you might try a system called recurrent selection of ram lambs, which consists of keeping the fastest gaining ram lambs sired by the fastest gaining ram lambs. No, this is not a misprint. Recurrent selection of ram lambs is a way of improving the potential for fast growth in your lamb crop. It involves changing rams fairly frequently and leaves you with the problem of disposing a 2 or 3 year old ram. If he is a good one, you could probably sell him as a ram, trade him to another sheep raiser, or see the chapter on mutton burger. It's all up to you. One advantage of raising your own ram is that you see what he looks like at what would be market weight if he were sold as meat. The older a ram gets, the less you can tell about how he looked as a lamb, or how his offspring will look when they are market age. The way lambs are raised can have some effect on their future sexual performance. Studies have shown that rams raised from weaning in an all-male group will show lower levels of sexual performance in later life. Some will actually show no sexual interest in receptive females. I did have a gay ram once. I don't know why, though, because I didn't milk his mother. He had a sister. They were in with the they were in with the flock. They were running with other lambs, other ewes. He had a beautiful fleece. He grew well. His mother had a decent udder, really nice cow-sized teats. They were perfect for hand milking. I wanted to use him as a flock sire over some of my ewes because I had enough sheep that I would divide them out, and I would give different rams because I would try different rams out if I wanted different things. So I wanted to put him over some of the sheep that I wanted better fleece on. He had no interest. There was a ewe just batting her eyes, just at this gorgeous ram, and he just was like, oh look, there's grass right here, and he just started grazing. I'm like, dude, what the hell? So I had to go. I took him out. No. So I brought in. I brought in one of my other rams that I was using. He bred her right away. I put the gay one in the freezer. I mean, it might be pretty, but my guy, you're useless. You're not going to make me any lambs. You need lambs. This is why you're here. That was really annoying. Like, really annoying. So anyway, when you're raising a lamb for a breeding ram, do not pet or handle him unnecessarily. It says right here in black and white. Do not pet or handle him unnecessarily. You have to catch him to worm him, fine. You have to catch him for shearing, fine. You have to catch him to trim his feet, fine. Vaccines, if you don't do it, whatever, fine. You need to also catch him every once in a while. Just give him a look over to make sure he's healthy. Make sure his teeth are still good. Make sure he doesn't have scrotal mange. But that's the necessary stuff. Don't go out there and, oh, sweet boy, you're just the best guy. You're so adorable. Look at your fleece. Oh my God. No. Do not let children play with him even when he is small. He will be more prone to butting and becoming dangerous if he is familiar with you than if he is shy or even a little afraid of humans. I don't care if these boys are scared of me. I do not care. And they are a little bit. I push them away. I don't want them coming up to me. Since they were little, no, we're not friends, dude. You have one of two jobs. You're either going to be freezer camp or you're going to be a herd sire. One of two jobs. If I have a ram, and I have had rams that were just, no matter how many times I pushed or whacked them, get away from me, get out of my hula hoop. They were like, oh no, I'm just so happy and go lucky. All right, dude, take your balls. I have been able to place one or two in a pet home. Pet homes are far and few between. You could find a hand spinner flock, which is basically a pet home. Just take their balls if they're too friendly. Take their balls if they're not friendly and they're dicks. They're gonna come up and hit you? Oh God, no. No. The battering ram. In actual cases, the butting ram is not very funny and can inflict serious, sometimes permanently crippling injuries. Keep children away from a ram at all times. I don't care if he's friendly or not. Well, friendly. Well, let me take that back. I don't care if he's shy or just lackadaisical. Keep the kids away from the ram. He may hurt them badly, and they can make him playful and dangerous. Never pet him on top of his head. This encourages him to butt. Leading a ram with one hand under his chin will keep him from getting his head down into a butting position. A ram butts from the top of his head, not his forehead. His head is held so low that as he charges you, he does not see forward well enough to swerve suddenly. A quick step to the side, right or left, will let you avoid the collision. And I've said in other videos, I had that ram that I was borrowing from a friend, and I looked for him, and he's down the hill behind the ewe flock. And I was calling the girls up so I can get the ones in for milking that I was milking. And I didn't go too far from the gate. And I was turning the gate, and I felt phew. And I turned and looked, and that little bastard, just like a ninja, I didn't even hear him galloping full force, coming up trying to butt me. I told his owner, I was like, well, he just tried to do this to me. And she said, no, please return him in easily handleable packages. So I gave him an attitude adjustment and butchered him out and gave him back in easily handleable packages. Oh, let's see. If you have a ram who already butts at you, try the water cure. A half pail of water in his face when he comes at you. But then you're carrying around a bucket of water all the time when you're out there. And then you have to be paying attention all the time, which you should anyway. But you're going to have to be even more on guard. I like a stick. It's lighter and it's easily whacked. And then you don't want to hit him on top of his head because he's not going to care. I'll crack him in the leg, or if I can biff him in the nose, oh, they've done that lip thing. Oh, I caught him just right in the nose. Oh, he did the lip thing. Then he never tried to come around me again. I was like, dude, I've been telling you. Don't play with these rams that want to butt you. After a few dousings, a water pistol or a dose syringe of water in the face usually suffices to reinforce the training. Adding a bit of vinegar to the water makes it even more of a deterrent. I've never really had a good because that bucket of water is awkward. A water pistol, that you're gonna need a damn super soaker, basically. So I just get a stick. You don't have to have like a baseball bat. I get a stick. A dangerous ram who is very valuable can be hooded so he can only see a bit downward and backward. He must be kept apart from other rams as he is quite helpless. And I have used the hoods before because I had, what did I do? I had to keep two rams together. One was very big, and I didn't know if I could trust him. And the other ram wasn't as big as he was. I don't remember the situation. It was quite a while back, but I did use that hood. And basically all it is a leather shield, basically. So they can't see like this. So it goes over their face like this. And it has nylon straps that come around their ears and under their jaw. And I think around the back of their poll. And it holds on. They can't see. They can see down and they can kind of see back. But they can't see you. And it should stop the butting, unless they get it off. You gotta be aware. Gotta be aware. Strange rams will fight when put together. Well-acquainted ones will too if they've been separated for a while. They back up and charge each other with their heads down. Two strong rams who are both very determined will keep at it until their heads are bleeding. One finally staggers to his knees and has a hard time getting up. Rams will occasionally kill one another. I have had that happen. When I first moved out to Indiana, my dairy ram died. He died. He just decided he didn't want to do it, and he died. So I was forced to go to the auction because I didn't know anybody around here, and there was nobody advertising rams at that point. So I went to an auction and I bought a very nice looking Suffolk ram. He had to have been a show lamb at one point. He was very, very typey. Got him tested. He was clean for everything. Ran him through quarantine. Got him back. I wormed him and everything. He was clean. He was pristine. Bred the ewes. And then after that, the lambs were on the ground. I was going to just freezer camp all of them because they're Suffolk dairy crosses. They're not. I'm not going to milk that. And I'm not going to market something like that to anybody else who wants to milk. It's just an enhanced milking meat sheep. So, anyway, I had, and now I had time to go around and look for an actual dairy ram that I wanted, that had nice fleece, blah, 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 blah. So I found one, and I went and got him, and she actually had blood test paperwork and everything. I was like, okay, great. He's clean, he's fine, ear tag numbers match up, blah, blah, blah. So I did test him anyhow, myself. So I brought him home. I did not have a proper stall or anywhere to keep him separate, so I used my little 2-horse trailer and made him a little pen out the back. And this Suffolk ram decided, oh, well, this isn't happening. And so he's sitting there hitting on those panels I put up. I was like, all right, well, I got to go out there and separate them. This is early in the morning. So I get dressed and I go out there, and by the time I got dressed, I wasn't pussyfooting around. I got dressed and I go out there. The Suffolk had broke into my dairy ram's pen. They had gotten after it, and the dairy ram killed the Suffolk. And the only thing that I think of is because the Suffolk was so much taller than the dairy ram that they didn't match up. And that dairy ram probably broke his neck. Probably broke his neck. Because he was able to hit him where the Suffolk was having to lower his head down too far. And yeah, that's the only thing. Better than a doornail. So I slit his throat and I butchered him out. And at that point in time, I didn't have anywhere to hang him overnight. So I called a butcher, and they got me in because I gave them a clean carcass. They're like, wow, you did this? I said, yeah. They offered me a job. I probably should have took it, but whatever. Anyhow, never a pen smaller, younger ram with a never pen a smaller, younger ram with a larger dominant one. Just common sense right there. Once they have determined which one is boss, they may playfully butt, but will fight no big battles unless they were separated again for a time. To prevent fighting and the possibility of one being badly injured, you can put them together in a small pen for a few days at first. In a confined area, they can't back up, and I'm talking about like a small pen, like a lambing jug type pen, where they can't back up far enough to do any damage. If no pen is available, they can be hoppled or yoked or clogged, all old European practices. Hoppling, Hoppling, hoppling a ram, the modern term would be hobbling, was an old system of fastening the ends of a broad leather strap to a fore and hind leg just above the pastern joints, leaving the legs at about natural distance apart. This discourages rams from butting each other or people because they are unable to charge from any distance, and they cannot hit very hard if they can't get a run. They may stand close and push each other around, but will do nothing drastic. Hoppling also keeps them from jumping the fence, which rams will sometimes do if ewes are in adjoining pastures. Yoking is fastening two rams together, just like it sounds. Oxen are yoked together. It's the same principle. 2 or 3 feet apart by bows or straps around their neck, fastened to a light timber like a 2-inch by 3-inch piece of lumber. Either of these same methods will necessitate watching to be sure that the rams do not become entangled. Again, common sense. Go out and look at your animals. In clogging, you fasten a piece of wood to one foreleg by a leather strap. This will slow down and discourage both fence jumping and fighting. Close watching is not necessary. Because the piece of wood will bang on their leg and make them uncomfortable, and they'll be like, oh, I can't be doing this. Hopefully. So now we come back to that epididymitis thing again. I'm sorry, I don't know the word. Scientists, researchers, and drug companies have all been working to find solutions to the ailments that can interfere with ram virility and ewe fecundity, and the last 10 years have seen several important findings. There is recently much more awareness in ram epididymitis. That's just how I'm going to say it. A disease caused by one of several different organisms which damages sperm-producing tissues. The infection is well underway and contagious before external symptoms show up in physical examination. Symptoms can include swelling of the epididymis, located at the base of the testes, and the presence of hard, lumpy tissue, showing that the disease is far advanced. In some cases, a ewe may become infected, resulting in abortions, stillbirths, and weak lambs. It is mainly contagious from ram to ram, but can be transmitted through a ewe who has been serviced by a diseased ram. Vaccination has not yet proved highly successful and can interfere with diagnostic tests. Accurate diagnostic procedures are now available so that the diseased rams can be readily identified and culled. When the only indication of the disease is seminal white blood cells, before the disease becomes clinical, high levels of antibodies such as tetracycline and streptomycin can be effective. This can be a way of saving a valuable animal, but would require isolation and extensive monitoring. A new blood test is highly sensitive and specific for identifying ram epididymitis. The enzyme linked in subordinate assay, ELISA test, which became available in 1986 from the Western Slope Diagnostic Laboratory, and it gives the whole address, College of Veterinary Medicine at the University of California, Davis. Its cost is moderate and depends on the number of samples sent, so a veterinarian can collect and freeze samples from several flocks to submit together. The state of Colorado now requires that any ram sold for breeding purposes in Colorado must have a negative ELISA test. This requirement in all states would greatly protect sheep buyers. If not required by law, it still should be demanded by the buyer. And you should. You should have. My sheep are all tested by ELISA test. I test for CL. I test for Johne's, OPP, and then I also asked for the rams to be tested for B. ovis, which is another venereal disease. So I want to know what's going on in them. I want to know what I'm offering you, because I don't want to sell somebody a sick sheep. I cull. And if it's something that I'm not sure we should be eating, it's composted. So yeah, just test your flock. Test them. It really doesn't cost too much. I want to show you guys how to draw blood on my lambs, which are not participating. They're over in the next stall, munching on hay and resting, because it's probably like 11 o'clock at night right now. The flies aren't nearly as bad. That last selecting or choosing suitable ewes video I tried to do for you guys, oh my god, the flies are all over the place. I was looking like it was on the crack. It was horrible. It was so gross. And then I went inside and I was feeling all creepy crawly. I had to go take a shower. God, I could tolerate flies, but they're gross, and I despise roaches. Oh, they're so nasty. So nasty. There was one in the house, and I flipped out. I was a total girl, and I flipped out and had Chris come kill it. Such a child. I don't like roaches. Oh, they're gross. But anyway, a lot less flies tonight. It was nice. But anyway, just test your flock, guys. Look at your rams. Don't pet them. Don't encourage them to come up to you. I don't care. Don't do it. You want to pet a sheep? Pet your girls. Go out there and sit with them. They will be happy to come up, especially if you give them a little handful. Do you know that they like popcorn? They like popcorn. You have some stale popcorn that left over from movie night? Go out there and give them the popcorn. Sit there and give them the popcorn. They will love that. It will also help some of these scaredy cats that you guys are like, oh my god, the sheep is just nuts. How do you tame them? You gotta sit out there with them. And sometimes they might not come around. You just gotta work with them. You gotta be out there with them. If you're raising meat sheep, no, you don't have to be out there all the time. But dairy sheep, where I talk about dairy sheep. When you're milking, you're out here twice a day. Unless you're doing lamb shares, whatever. Then you're out here once a day. But you're very hands-on with these animals. You want them to be calm. You want them to be willing. You don't want them to be flighty. Oh my god. It's not funny. But anyway. So, that was a little bit of talk of rams. So I might pick out one of the other books here, especially if this works. If I can get this to post off this phone, try to figure out if I could put those videos onto this phone and post them, catch you guys up. anyhow, we'll switch. We'll look at one of the other books, see what that has to say about picking sheep, or, you know, talking about rams and all that kind of stuff. So have fun with your sheep, guys.